Hi, everybody. Welcome to a special episode of Bariatric Banter podcast. I'm going to do another mini matinee, and I'm actually really excited because today I'm joined by my mom. Hi, Mom.
Hello, Hannah.
Oh, and Bo is here as well, so you'll hear him in the background. Yeah, I'm home for the holidays, and I want to record an episode with my mom. Do you want to introduce yourself? Say your name.
Yeah, my name is Marianne Cameron, and as Hannah said, I am her mom, and we're just going to talk about her journey.
Yeah. She's been my mom for 30 something years. So she knows a little bit about me, just a bit. So, yeah, I want to record a podcast episode about what is it like supporting somebody going through surgery. A lot of you requested this as a topic and said you'd love to hear from your family's perspective. I know we always talk about what Steph and I went through and advice we have, but I know a lot of you are going to have husbands and wives and moms and dads and tons of people supporting you. So I just want to pick your brain, Mom, about, what people who are supporting someone going through bariatric surgery need to know.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think the first question that I'll just kind of throw out to you is, what was it like when I announced I was going to have this surgery?
well, initially I kind of panicked because I thought, like I don't really know enough about the procedure and the ins and the outs,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I thought, like, I need to get up to speed. I need to
Mm.
know what you're gonna be doing and actually what you need, I guess, from us.
Yeah. It's a good point. Like, I did just kind of come out of the blue and tell you I was doing this. There was also a period of time where we thought this was never going to happen. It was during COVID, and I was unfortunately, it took a year and a half for me to get approved for surgery just due to COVID. So I do remember you saying, I didn't think this was ever going to happen.
Well, no, that's the truth. But, um, the more that you went to appointments and
Hmm.
you found out information and had some testing done and, exactly how the procedure was gonna go, like, before, during, and after,
Yeah.
I like to be included on your information.
Yeah.
Like, and you did mention to me sometime that you're going to be looking at labels a whole lot different. You're going to be looking at labels and reading,
Yeah.
and yeah, because as I have always said to you, if you're not a part of the solution, you're a part of the problem.
Yep. Yeah, I kinda told you, I think I need to eat differently and do this. Um, I think one of the first things that a lot of our listeners would like to know, because a lot of them struggle with this, is, was there any hesitation when I announced it? And I know the answer to this is no. There was so much support initially. Some people are really scared to tell their family. They are scared they're gonna be judged, or they're gonna say, "You don't need that," or "That's too much." I think that maybe that's a lot of fear because you guys were really supportive, but do you have any advice for people that are like, "I don't think I should tell my family."
Oh God, you have to tell your family.
Yeah.
It's okay. Suppose you found out you were diabetic.
Mhm.
You have to tell, the people around you,
Mhm.
the people that you spend the most time with, but for your home,
Yeah.
you have to tell them because, it's a way of life, and I've always said, we try to be accepting for anybody that comes to have a meal with us
Yeah.
or whatever. If you have food allergies, if you're a diabetic, or if you're going on a weight loss program, or um, I take it as an opportunity to expand my knowledge
Yeah.
on what I can do. Like, I would rather, I don't know, I kind of find it enjoying trying to find something that is accepting and, that passes the grade, I guess.
I like it.
You don't want people to be. You don't want people to be ashamed or embarrassed, like, "Oh,
No.
geez, I can't eat that. I can't do that." No, that's
Yeah,
no,
there's nothing
no,
wrong with it.
no.
I think some people are judgmental. You've heard our podcast episode on how some people might not accept your journey, but I think my mom is right. ultimately you want to tell your family. You want them to know that you're doing this. And hopefully you have a family like mine that was very like, okay, all right, we're doing this. Here we go. And was really supportive. But I don't think there's any way that you could have the surgery and hide it from family.
No, absolutely not. And be successful? No, I don't think
Mm.
so.
And there,
But
yeah,
I don't know what the people would be afraid of. You're still going to have your meals. You're going to have different proportions.
yeah,
And that's okay too.
yeah,
But if it's good for you, then it's good for us. And
yeah. Very good
I
point.
want to know about this new recipe and it's high in protein and it's got this, it's got that. Or I don't know. We got to be open to new things. So
I agree.
why not?
I think it's just misunderstanding from a lot of people who, initially Bo is looking at our appetizers and trying to eat them. A lot of people, I think, an initial reaction will say things like, you don't need it, or that seems really extreme. And I think that's what people are scared of is just getting judged for having this surgery. But to those people who are going to judge you before they even ask
Yeah.
what it's like, or, I say to them, shove off.
Yeah.
You're doing this for your health and for you, and we want you to be really excited. But I agree. I think it'll be hard if your family's not part of that journey.
Yeah.
But for those whose family just won't be, you find your family. You go and find that tribe that will help you through this, whether that's a friend or a coworker or your partner. Um, there will be people to support you through this.
It's not complicated. Like, well, but you have people that make things so friggin' hard,
Yeah.
but it isn't complicated. It's food. And whether you broil something or barbecue something rather than deep fry something,
Yeah.
or you have a tray of fresh vegetables rather than,
Chips.
exactly. It's not complicated.
Yeah.
And both sides can benefit.
Yep.
Both sides can benefit. And you're just looking at a new way to prepare meals.
I agree.
Different proportions. I mean, people can have as much or as little as they want. And there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Like, no, I learned so much.
We're going to get into that. We're going to ask about what you learned. So let's take it through. I announced that I was having this, and there was lots of support. And she also went on the computer because I know her and researched it for hours, I'm sure, to learn the ins and outs of it. But she, like my mom mentioned, she came to appointments and she was part of the process. So I think one of the ones I want to talk about was you actually came to my surgeon appointment. You
Correct.
came down to Kitchener
Yeah.
and you came to the appointment I was having with my surgeon because my mother's an ex-nurse, you guys know this, I've told you, and I was like, "Oh, I definitely need you there." I think it was funny because you came into the room and I pointed to the chair and said, "Okay, sit down." And Doctor Jewell said, no, this is your appointment. Your mom can go sit over there." And he made you sit on the
Yes.
other side of the room
Well,
because
as it should be.
because I was the patient. So let's take it from there. You came to my surgical appointment. And for those who haven't had it yet, this is when you meet your surgeon. Like you are there, you're at the finish line. You meet your surgeon, and he goes through all the different options for surgery: VSG, which is sleeve, bypass, Roux en Y. And then he asks you at the end, which one do you want? So I just wanted her there because I didn't know if I was going to have questions or not. But what was that like sitting in the consult with my doctor?
Well, yeah, I just kinda sat and minded my own business. But
He was
it's good
funny.
to hear, like, the information come from him. Um, when 2 people are in a room and 1 person is speaking, um, I think you each come out with different information or you've
Mhm.
each picked up on different things.
Oh, good
So,
point.
no, I was able to hear right from the horse's mouth what was going to take place
Mhm.
and, basically complications, what may happen, what could
Mhm.
happen, timelines, things like that. So, if I had any questions, I would have no problems asking a question on my behalf, not on Hannah's, the
Correct.
patient's behalf,
Yep.
but on because I knew I would be with her and,
And I think you did. I think you actually even asked him
I did.
something about post-op something, because you were gonna be with me in the
Right.
hospital and after, and I actually think you had a question, and he was so great with answering it.
Well, I think because he also threw out the possibility that if things go well, you could possibly be a same day discharge
Yes, I was
rather
looking at
than
that.
staying overnight.
Yeah. And I think he said, "Were you interested in that?" And I was like, "Fuck yes, I was." And I think that was your question was
Yeah.
like, "Well, what if?" Or like,
Yeah.
"When would we know that she would be same day
Yeah.
and what happens if she isn't?" And his response was like, "Well, she'll just stay here if she isn't." But
Mhm.
no, I ended up being same day. It was easy peasy in and out, but he was very like, as a surgeon should be, he gave all the facts and only the facts. He didn't give his opinion on anything, just the facts, and he let me pick my surgery, and I said, "I would like sleeve," and I remember we left, and I said, "I picked sleeve," and you were like, "Oh, thank God." Like, "That's the one I wanted you to take."
Mhm.
But it was great because you didn't tell
Yeah.
me your opinion ahead of time. We listened to about all the surgeries, and I, on my own, said, "I've done a lot of research on my own, and I really think sleeve is the way to go for
Yep.
me, and here's why." And he said, "Okay, that's fine. Great." And then we paid for our shakes and we got to head our little tail home. And I was super pumped and excited, and everything kind of moved forward like that. Um, Fast forward, we have surgery. You actually came to the hospital with me,
Yes, I
which I
did.
think was super boring. You came, you sat, I had surgery, which was quick as hell. I'm pretty sure I went in and came out within an hour.
Yeah.
And then it was just recovery. And it was just you had to wait around until 3 p.m. because you couldn't go before 3. They made me do a lap around make sure I could stand on my own 2
Yeah.
feet and walk, and then you took me home.
Yes.
And that
But
was
it helps to be there
yeah.
to witness the first time that they wanted to get you up, you were too lightheaded and
Yep.
too dizzy. So, you, if I'm going to be with you, I want to know if you've, spent 20 minutes in the bathroom vomiting,
Yep.
or if it took you 3 tries to get up and stand upright, or, if they had to give you an extra bag of fluid, blah, 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 blah. I want to know if there were any hiccups
Yes.
during your procedure.
Good
So,
point.
well, no, I mean, I wanna know what I'm getting myself
Yep.
into, so
But it was pretty straightforward. They did try to get me up because I was up early. I think I was in recovery. I went into surgery at 8. I think I was in recovery for 9. I think they tried to get
Mhm.
me up around 10:30, and I said I advocated for myself and I said, "Oh no, I'm feeling really dizzy. I don't think I can do this." She said, "Let's get you started on juice." And then she switched me to apple juice. I had a few shots of that, and then I was walking. I think I did what, 3 laps of the floor?
Yeah, I think
And
so.
then you were like, "Cool, can we go?" And I got in the car and we picked up my prescriptions and we
Yeah.
went home, and, um, after that, everything was very easy peasy. So we can fast forward to what was it like in that first year? Not surgery and recovery, but more now that I'm normal and I'm coming home for Easter, coming home for my birthday. What kind of went through your head when it was like, okay, she's coming down for her birthday, or she's coming. I think Easter was the first time I came home,
Yeah,
because that
yes.
was April,
Yeah.
and
Well, you had stages
yeah,
where after 6 months, you were able to integrate, different food types back
pork
into
and
the
corn.
diet. So,
Yeah,
it's nice to be kept up to speed on that,
yep,
and I don't know, you just, I don't know. I used to do some checking for recipes. I would sometimes say, well, I think I was going to make whatever dessert we were thinking of having and running it by you. What do you think that, yay, nay? Or what could we change,
yay or
you
nay.
know, to make it more, acceptable? But um, I don't know. It's no big deal,
Yeah,
really. It isn't. Minor alterations, and I don't know.
you made good desserts. So she made, for Easter, you made me a trifle out of sugar-free pudding and fresh blueberries.
Hmm.
And then for my birthday, you made me like a pistachio dessert that I used to love before surgery,
Correct.
but you made it with no sugar. So
Right.
you made a shortbread base without sugar,
Yeah.
and you made sugar-free pistachio pudding
Yeah.
and then sugar-free whipped cream on the top.
Yeah.
And I obviously took a portion size that made sense for me, but like everybody else in the house got to eat it, and nobody really knew it
No,
was
nobody
different
knows, for
from the
goodness
sugar
sake.
version. So I am lucky that you made such an effort to make some really cool things for me, and you got me sugar-free Laura Secord for
Oh,
Easter.
yes, that's right too.
Yeah, you went in and asked them about it, and
Yeah.
they said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
we do carry sugar-free," and,
Hmm.
um
She gave you, 6 different types,
Yeah, of different flavors
different
of
flavors, yeah,
sugar-free, which was really cool.
yeah.
Um,
It
what a
was I don't know, it's not a big
okay.
it's not as complicated. It can be complicated if you wanna make it complicated.
Yeah, I think there's people who just make life complicated in
Jesus,
general.
make a peanut butter sandwich complicated.
But you would say this was not an inconvenience to your life.
No, I learned a lot.
Okay.
I
What'd you
read
learn?
labels, um, just looking at, your percentages of, like, your sodium and
Mhm.
your fats
Mhm.
and the sugars and you were versing me in the types of sugars that it
Yes.
may say that it's low, but it has a high sugar alcohol
Which will make you
content.
poop yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great.
that's not fun. Shit your
So
pants.
you just have to be aware.
Yep.
And even though it has a fancy label, like it's low this and,
Uh-huh.
oh my gosh, oftentimes it isn't.
Yeah, so, okay, she's learning, guys. You've heard us say on the podcast, watch for things that say, that they're low calorie or the
Yeah.
low fat version,
Hmm.
because low fat usually means way more
High
sugar,
sugar.
and here's a great example. Dad was out because we're recording this on Christmas Eve, guys. Dad was out getting a bottle of wine, and he said, "Oh," there were 2 bottles side by side, and one said, "light." And he said, "Oh, what's the light version?" And even I was curious, and she said, "Oh."
Small bottle.
Jesus, it's for elves. She goes, "It's got less alcohol in it." And we both went, "Oh." And she goes, "But it's got way more sugar added." And we were like, "Oh,
Oh.
nope, hard pass on that,
Yeah, I
thank you."
forgot that.
Yeah, so you have to be cautious of things,
Yes.
but, I do remember you saying, "We're paying more attention to labels
Oh my
now," and
god. Yeah.
tortillas, remember that we were in Target and I
Mhm,
was you were
mhm.
making fun of me because you were like, "Oh my god, why are you buying all these tortillas?" Because anybody who knows on the podcast has heard me say 100 times, I love those friggin' Mission Carb tortillas from Target, and I had a cart full of them, and I'm embarrassed to say, like, probably 15 packs of them,
Mhm,
and she comes over and makes a face and goes, "Ugh, like, I don't know why you're buying all these." And I said, "Well,
mhm.
they're way better." She goes, "They can't be that much better." And I just remember you saying that, and I said, "Okay." And I flip a pack over and I said, "How look, there's 40 calories in this
Yeah,
one." I said, "The ones at home are 110." And you went,
yeah,
"No." I said, "Yeah, go look at a
yeah,
tortilla when you get home." And sure enough, we went and looked at them, and they're between 80 to 110 calories a tortilla.
yeah.
And the ones at Target are 25 to 40.
Mm, yeah,
It's just little things that you don't think of. You don't think of bread as having a ton of sugar. It does.
yeah,
You don't think of tortillas as being crazy high in calories.
yeah,
Oops, they are.
yeah.
Um, but we've also learned good things. So I think you've adopted some new recipes and some cool
Yes,
things
I
that you've
have.
learned. Um, Want to talk about that? What are some of your favorite maybe things that you eat now or have tried or
Street corn soup.
oh,
Buying well, we always had the boneless, skinless chicken breast,
yep.
but you can do so much with boneless, skinless chicken breasts.
Mhm.
Cut them in half and make wonderful chicken burgers,
Mhm.
or shred them and make the street corn soup. Oh my god, it is so good. Um, just you have to do your homework.
Mhm.
Can you have cheese? Yes, you can, but everything in moderation.
Yep.
Like,
And looking for
really?
the milk fat, right? So we buy that Red Fox cheese, right, that
Yep.
dad likes because it's
Yes.
got low milk fat. But you'd never know, it tastes just as
It
good.
all tastes the
It
same.
tastes as good.
Yeah.
We were talking about Christmas because right now we have our tradition, right? Do you want to tell people what is our tradition on Christmas Eve?
It would be called hors d'oeuvre night.
Hors d'oeuvre
And we
night.
just kind of graze.
Yep.
Everybody contributes something.
But there's no meal. It's just
No.
picking at appetizers for the
Yeah.
night.
Everybody kind of brings or makes their favorite dish
Yeah.
or something new or something different that you hope or that you think everyone will kind of like.
Yeah.
And years ago, yes, we used to do it the lazy way. You buy a box of chicken balls or some egg rolls
Mozzarella
or
sticks,
mozzarella
a lot of
sticks.
fried, deep fried chips.
Yeah,
There was chips.
ready made.
Yeah. A lot of fatty food.
Yeah.
What's it look like today? Because I actually had to take a picture and was like, "Oh my god, I don't think the Camerons have eaten this way in a long
No,
time."
we have a nice charcuterie board with cheeses and some sliced meats, sliced apples.
Mhm.
We also have a couple of new things, sliced cucumbers, with the
Oh, yep.
size of a small cracker with cream cheese and a little this and that with some smoked salmon.
It's
It's
wonderful.
great. It's at first you're eating them and I don't know, you forget that they're not on a cracker,
Yeah.
but fresh, kind of crunchy, kind of nice.
Yeah. We have
Yeah,
baked
just
jalapeno poppers.
baked
They're not
jalapeno. Yep.
fried, they're nice
No.
and small, they're
Yep.
just yeah.
Little cream cheese and it's just a whole different take. Our uh appetite and our cravings, as it were, have completely
Yeah.
changed.
So, I'm gonna ask you a question that I think a lot of people are asking their families or their spouses or their partners. You guys just naturally changed your eating habits. I didn't force you to change your
No,
eating habits.
no.
You learned from me, you asked questions. You became really interested in this. I would say you took a really big interest in, well, teach me. What are you eating? Why are you eating it? And
Yeah.
I think I remember overhearing you on the phone to Aunt Jean once saying, "Oh my God, I'm learning so much from her."
Yep.
And it just made me so happy. But you took an interest and you've just naturally changed your eating habits. Are people going to be successful? Two questions. Do people's families need to completely change their eating habits? And then the second question is, are people going to be successful if their family doesn't support this journey or at least try to help with the journey? It's tough, I know.
Um, I make the meals,
Yep.
so I know firsthand what we kind of like and what we don't like.
Mhm.
And we all have our issues. I have high blood pressure. I
Mhm.
think we uh, both have high cholesterol.
Mhm.
And when you get, like, as you age, as everybody ages, you have health issues kind of crop up.
Mhm.
And I think everybody needs to kind of trim. Like, I don't eat the way that I did in my 20s.
Correct.
You have to adjust your eating habits.
Yep.
So, it's the way you sell it,
'Kay.
the way you market it. Like, I knew that the soup I thought was going to be a success. And, I don't tell them anything. I don't tell them that,
There's no sodium or low sugar
nothing.
or
I
yep.
just say, got a new soup, chicken, corn, like, yummy. Hey,
This is
have a
rabbit pie
roll.
all over again.
So, yeah, it could be. So, tastes like chicken.
Wasn't
So,
chicken.
it's the way you sell it,
Okay.
you know? Um, but, if you don't care for it, that's okay. Like, we've often had meals that, it was okay, but, maybe you don't have to make it
Okay.
again. But we're all pretty easy,
So you don't have
you
to
know?
advertise that you didn't put there's no
No, you
sugar in
don't
it,
need to
there's
do
low
that.
fat.
You
Okay.
just say, "I have a new
Do
recipe,"
you like it?
and, it's kinda different,
Okay.
it's just I think everybody gets into a rut where, "Oh my god, it's the same thing
Yep.
every," and actually, people look forward to trying something different, a little
Yeah.
fresher, a little and but see, that's kind of the game we play here.
Mhm.
We'll have a new recipe and we're sitting around. Okay, new recipe.
Oh, I love this
So,
game. Yeah. We do play
everybody,
this we all
taste
play
it.
this game,
What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? If I were to make it again, what should we change?
and we collectively as a family
Yeah, we do.
rewrite the
Oh,
recipes.
you know what you should add to this? Blah, blah, blah,
Ooh,
blah,
what if
blah.
ooh.
Or, maybe. So, anyway.
Do you think people can be successful if their families aren't supportive? And there's varying levels of supportive. I don't think, to my mom's point, families don't have to completely change the way they eat, but I'll let you weigh in before I give my opinion. Can you be successful at this if, let's say, your husband is going to keep ordering takeout pizza and brownies, or your family has decided you do what you want to do, but we're not going to get rid of the junk food in the house?
Um, can you? Yes, you can be successful. Probably take you a little longer.
Mm,
Um, Sometimes when people are faced with that, if you're determined to be successful, you just have to dig your feet in.
yep.
It's nice to have a little assistance. I mean, if you had come and said that, "Oh my gosh, I'm diabetic," like, you have to. you have to support, you can't turn a blind eye.
No.
Like, you have to support. So it's the same thing here. You don't have to, you know, jump on the bandwagon
Yeah,
a hundred
you're not having
percent.
surgery.
However, when you come to visit or
Yeah.
when you're like for a special occasion or a holiday, it would be nice. I think respectful thing to do is to incorporate that person's likes or dislikes, or to
Have
help
options.
them
Yeah.
on their journey. Like they have to eat something,
Yeah.
and y- you know, it's not complicated.
No.
It doesn't have to be complicated. But if it is, then either bring a meal for yourself.
Mhm.
Hey, that's great, but you know what? I,
Brought my own.
made some great soup, or I had
Tuna.
something, and bring
Yep.
your own.
Well, do you remember when we went to Nova Scotia very soon after surgery? It was December. And I said to you, "Please tell them not to get anything for
Oh,
me."
right.
And I showed up to the cottage with a can of tuna and a block of cheese, and I was like, "I'm good." And Jean was like, "Oh my god, what is wrong? She's not good." And you were like, "No, leave her be. She
Yeah,
knows it
don't.
she doesn't need much. This is all she needs."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm good." And I'm just eating tuna from the can and a block of cheese. But I brought, and like, I didn't expect anybody else to eat like that. And I said, "Oh, eat. Please eat in front of me." And I think here is a great example. I don't drink. That's my choice before surgery because you have to give it up before surgery. And I just never went back to it after surgery. Empty calories, too much sugar, my choice. Everybody here still drinks. There's beer, they
Thank
have
you. Thank
wine.
you very much.
Yeah. And there's still dessert and stuff. So I'll come home and there will be fresh squares. And I remember the first Christmas I came home, you were like, "I'm so sorry. I made the squares that you used to love. Just don't look in the cold cellar." And I said, "No, you guys should be eating these. Like, eat your squares. There is nothing wrong with having some cookies or some squares in the house, but
Well,
you
yeah.
also you have stuff for me." So it's not that you made squares and there's nothing for me to eat. You made squares and then said, "Well, I got you sugar-free chocolate," or "I got you some of those candies, the smart sweets that you like," or "There's apples," or "I got that yogurt you really like." Like, it's having options for someone doesn't mean giving up what you like as well.
Or hiding things.
Oh, don't hide things.
It's like smokers when they're trying to stop smoking.
Yeah,
You just can't avoid every old smoker that you used to know.
exactly.
At some point in time, you're going to be in a situation where someone is smoking,
Yeah.
um and it's the same thing with food, or like someone sitting there having a big piece of birthday cake. Like,
Yep.
you can't run,
Nope.
and you have to be able to, if we're able to acknowledge some changes in your diet and accommodate,
Yep.
then you have to as well. Well,
Correct.
Alexander wants a carrot cake with cream cheese icing. um Maybe you can have a piece of cake, but you don't want the icing, or
Yes,
maybe you'd prefer not to have it.
which is
Then so,
fine.
but that's okay.
Yep,
Like, that's okay for you, and it should be okay, like,
for him.
for us
Exactly.
too. So it's a
Two-way
two-way street.
ding, ding, ding. It is a two-way street. You can't expect your family to get rid of everything,
No.
but I personally think you will struggle if your immediate family, whether that is you still live with your parents or you have a husband or a wife, if they're not willing to help and give up some of that. And what I mean by that is, like, if they're still saying, "Well, I'm bringing bags of chips and candy home because that's what I want," it's gonna be hard if they're constantly bringing takeout home and pizza home and brownies home and chips and stuff. I think you will need to have a conversation with them and say, "You gotta keep this in the garage, or can you eat this at work, at least for the first year, while the temptation is still fresh in your mind until you get it under control." That doesn't mean they can't ever eat the way they want, but there is gonna be a little give and take that
It's
your
a
immediate
respect.
family
It's a respect.
yeah, that your
As I
immediate
said
family
at the
needs to do.
beginning of this little blurb, if you're not a part of the solution, you're a
Part
part of
of
the
the problem.
problem.
Is there any advice you wanna leave people with? This is specifically for people who are going to let their family listen to this, or people who are, thinking of having surgery. Is there any advice you wanna give to people who are gonna be helping someone through
Don't be
surgery?
afraid. Don't be afraid. Well, I mean, okay, it's in human nature to be afraid of things, I guess.
Mhm.
However, like, hey, wade into the pool
Yep.
and read, read. If you know someone or someone has a friend that went through a similar or the exact same procedure, talk to them.
Yeah.
So, hey, listen, my daughter's going to be going through this and blah, 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 blah. How did you get along? Like, what were some issues or like, what could I do to like really help them? Or
Mhm.
read, like, honest to God, like, be informed.
Yeah.
Don't put your head in the sand for God's sake,
Yeah.
but just ask questions.
Good advice. And I think for patients, share, hey, this is what surgery is going to be like. And this is what I can eat for the first, month. And this is like, share what your menu looks like too. Hey, I have to do a 2-week liquid diet
Yes.
before, and then I can only have this for a month. And then I can't
Yes.
start this until this month. Like, the more you tell people, the more they can help keep you accountable as well.
Yes.
Hey, there's pork in that. Aren't you not supposed to have that for a few more months? Oh my God. Yes. Thank you. Right. Like, if they know what your pattern's going to look like, your eating habits, like, it's nice to have somebody be informed, like, hey, how's your puree stage going? And, or I saw that you can have applesauce. I bought you some applesauce. But I think two-way street, like you said, patients also share this information with people, share what it's like and all that jazz. But it's not hard, I think, to support someone through this, because it's just a cool way to learn how to eat better, to be honest. That's the biggest thing that happened in surgery was I just ate differently. There was no complications, there was no major need to help with anything, there was no wound care, nothing.
No,
It was really just, "Hey, I eat differently now."
correct.
And it's like, "Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome."
Yeah.
I dig it. No, I think that's great advice, and just thanks for being on the podcast and chatting through it. I think a lot of people are just curious what it's like, and it's, like my mom said a few times, it's way easier than you think it is. Don't overcomplicate it.
Right. Like, like I was afraid, um, perhaps way back when she said she was going to do this because I thought, oh my God, I don't
Know anything.
really know. And, and
Yeah.
I kind of panicked, but you do know, like,
Yeah.
and get involved.
And I think the nice thing is, in Canada, it's not, "Hey, I'm having surgery, it's in a week." It's,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm doing this,
Yes.
but I'm in the program for a year before it happens."
Yeah.
That must have been pretty comforting to be like, "Oh, thank God, there's, like, steps involved and
Yeah.
there's hoops to jump through," and,
Yeah.
like, it kind of, for family, should give you comfort that this is not a quick surgery. There are so many things that go into it to give you a peace of mind that, like, they are ready for surgery. They've met with surgeons and nurses and internal medicine doctors. They've done blood tests and they've done ultrasounds and screenings. They really put the steps in before you have surgery.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's quite a journey.
But I'd say it's been a pretty good journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's
Very
been
cool.
pretty incredible, where I started to where I am. I guess
Mhm.
that very last thing to end on, what was that like seeing me? Because you saw me when I was 320 pounds,
Yes, I did.
to where I am now, which is almost 160 pounds lost. But that must have been kind of cool, I think,
Oh,
to
it
see
was.
from an outside perspective.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was. But I mean, um, you just follow the instructions,
Yeah.
the eating and maintaining a certain amount of protein every
Yep.
day and
Exercise.
exercising, just becoming more active like
Yep.
most people are. Like a lot of it is it's not foreign,
No.
it's just common sense.
Yeah.
And, get out, get some sunshine, get some fresh air, stretch your legs and,
Yeah.
it's really it's not it's there's nothing strange about it. It's just, reinforcing, you know, uh, Canada's food guide, really.
Yeah, basically. With a little extra help because you're not as hungry as maybe you were
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for joining me on the podcast,
No
Mom. I actually
problem.
really loved being able to just chat through this with you.
pick my brain.
It was great. I think the listeners are gonna really love hearing from you too, so maybe we'll have you back sometime. I know you were nervous to do this, but you did really well,
Well, thank
so
you. Thank you very much.
thank you everybody for listening to me and my mom, Marianne, and if you wanna have her back on, then drop some comments and let me know what she could talk about. She's also a retired nurse, so hey, you got any of those medical questions about surgery, she can answer, but like always, thank you for listening. Have a very Merry Christmas. Steph and I are just so happy to have you as our community, and thanks, Mom, for joining me.
No problem, Hannah.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.